We're praying. Hi everyone, welcome to Backyard Chef. I'm Rick. Today I'm doing an Irish farmhouse classic. You know, some people have heard of it, some people haven't heard of it, but you're going to hear of it now. We're making a potato pastry apple cake or apple pie. A very unusual, not so common recipe, but it does exist in the old-fashioned Irish cookbooks. So we might have to do a bit of a modern take on it, but you know, we'll wing it along the way and we'll see what happens. So in my bowl I've got some butter, I've got some flour, I've got some mashed potatoes. I'm just going to go in there with some salt. Salt to taste, put in whatever you want. And we're going to mix the pastry up first. Hopefully we won't use water because there might be enough moisture in the potatoes. If there isn't, we'll add a bit of water. And we are going to use a 7-inch springform cake tin today. So it's going to be a nice compact apple pie. Now normally they would put the pastry over the top. I'll do a different way. We're going to make a whole pie with the pastry. So fingers crossed it works. Right, hands in, let's mix up. So steady away, just mix it together. And this potato is actually a little bit wet. So we're not making breadcrumbs as such, we're mixing it all up together. We're going straight for it. Right, I can tell you now that this potato is too wet. So we're going in there with a bit more flour. Probably about that much. I'm going to bring that in until we get a nice workable dough which isn't too wet. So it's just one of those things, you know, it's just an eyeball job really. Now we've got a dough, but even so it still might be a little bit too damp. We will see. I want a little bit more. I want a nice dough in there, you know, I not just don't want mashed potato. Now I'm feeling that, I'm liking that. I think that is okay. Still got a bit of moisture, got a bit of mashed potato there, look. It's still got a bit of moisture in there, it's a bit tacky. I think that is fine. That is great. Leave it in the bowl, I'm going to crack on with the apples. Now I've got a whole selection of different types of apples here. I've got eating apples, cooking apples, everything. It's a complete mixture of sour and sweet. All we're going to do is take the skins off. Now you take the skin off any which way you want. If you want to use a peeler, peel it. If not, just take it off with a knife. We don't want the skins, so I'll just whiz this up really quickly just to show, and then we're going to crack on with the rest of them. Now I am going to sort of separate this a little bit. I actually want some eating apples put into one side. They're the sweeter ones because I want to actually cook the apple pie so we have some texture in our apple pie. So we're just going to whiz that through there like that. Okay, I'm not going to bother about a core or anything like that. We're just going to come in there and we're going to core it like this. You do your apples any which way you want, yeah? Let's not stress over cutting some apples. Now, we actually want some chunks of apple, but we want some thin bits as well because we need it to break down. So for these eating apples, we're just going to do a few little slices through there. We're chucking in this bowl up. So we got these little slices going on in there. So carry on, peel your apples. Bad skins on these, they're old apples, but not to worry. I'm just rushing this quickly and then I'll carry on. Do the same. We're going to take out the core. I want some chunks. I want a few little chunks, little square chunks like that. So just come through there. And we're just going to chunk up. Now I'm going to probably do about 3 eating apples like this. And they're going in a separate bowl. Because we're going to start to cook off the apples in a pan, and then we're going to put these in towards the end. Now it is a real good way to make a class apple pie, because what happens is you get that lovely melted down apple inside your pie, you know, and you can put a bit of corn flour in there and you can make that nice syrupy apple inside your apple pie. And then what you do is you throw these in for about the last 5 minutes, so they just soften a little bit but they retain that crunch, and then you get that lovely apple that you eat that's all melted down and some crunch inside. It's so easy to make the apple pie. Okay, we just need to crack on and peel all these apples, slice them all up and do a couple of eaters. Now what we have to do is put a bit of lemon on them. Stop them from going completely brown. So I'm going to squeeze in a bit of lemon in there. So don't worry about the pips, we'll take the pips out. So you've got a bit of lemon going on in there. I'm going to do the same in this one. Just stop it from browning up. And like I say, don't stress about the pips. This is how stressful it is about the pips. Watch. Pips removed. Okay, we're just going to crack on. We'll crack on, peel all the apples, and then we'll get to the next stage. Nice and steady, peel away, slice up and dice up. Okay, then that is all the apples peeled in there, you know. And like I say, I've kept some over, some eating apples. So what we're going to do, we are going in this pan with a little bit of butter. We're keeping this farmhouse. And we're going on with the flame. And then what we're going to do, we're going to put the apples in there. We're going to start to cook them down. Want some brown sugar. So we're in there with some of our apples. We're going to start them off. So you don't have to worry about this, you know, just get them in. And they will shrink down. We just have to keep giving them a stir and they'll shrink down. We want a lot of apple filling in here. You know, if we're going to make an apple pie, let's make an apple pie. Want to be going in there with some salt to taste. So it's up to you how much you put in. Want to be going in there with half a lemon juice. And that's going to give us that little bit of fluid in the bottom of there to help with the apples to start to break down. So what we'll do is we'll just have a little minute, start these apples off like this to break down, then we'll put some spice in and some sugar in. I don't want to put the sugar in straight away until we've got a little bit of juice in the bottom. I don't want the sugar to catch on the bottom of the pan. So it's nice and steady. Just bring those in there. Oh, we're losing one there, look. Oh, lovely. So when you've got a bit of fluid forming in the bottom, that's when you could add some spices. We don't want the spices to burn. About that much. You can go more if you want. You know, you can do up to a teaspoon of cinnamon and about quarter to half a teaspoon, well, probably quarter teaspoon of nutmeg. I'm using about a teaspoon of English mixed spice. So the apples are starting to break down nicely in there now. Look, we're going to go in with some sugar. Bit of brown sugar. I'm going in with about a heaped and a half tablespoon of brown sugar. Give it a mix in. So we're getting a good filling in there. Look, it's breaking down quite nicely. We've got a lot of fluid forming in the bottom of the pan. That's perfect. Now these we need to cook down. Cook them down till they're nice and soft and mushy, and then we're going to chuck the other ones over the top for 5 minutes. Now what I will do is I'll just prep some cornstarch slurry or cornflour slurry, just to give us that nice thick sauce in there with our apples. So basically we just want a tablespoon of cornflour and about the same of water. Give that a little stir around and we'll end up with quite a thick little paste in there. To one side, give these a little stirring over. Now don't forget when you put the sugar in, you know, give it a taste. You know, you could taste it now, do a taste test, but I know that a lot of these apples are sour in here and I like that sour kick to an apple pie, so I won't add any more sugar. But you know, you could give that a taste test and you could decide whether you want to put any more sugar in and just put it in. Now I need to keep cooking these down a little minute, so we're going to cook and stir till some of these are broken down completely in the pan and we're starting to get a mush with apples in there. I can't describe it any more than that. It'll be mushy. Okay, these are cooking down, they're becoming nice and soft. We get a little bit of sauce around there. We're going in there with those eating apples. Just stir them in and that's going to give us an apple crunch inside. And now we're going in with our cornflour cornstarch slurry. We're going to make it a nice sticky sauce inside our apple pie. Give that a stir in, it'll thicken up instantly actually. Off with the flame. That to me is perfect. That is lovely. Right, this has to cool down before we can put it in our potato pastry. Okay, what we're going to do is roll our potato pastry, I hope. So what I'm going to probably do is take that much for the top. Now we've only got a pie tin like that. So do we really need to roll it? I'm not sure. Let's give it a little shufty one of those. That should fit that. I'm just wondering if we line that. I might line that first. That should do it. Now this is really, really, really soft. So I think we may have problems. So we're going to delicately chuck that in there, leaving an overhang. Oh, rip there, look. Join that back up. To stop it from pulling off too much, we're just going to get rid of that. Okay, that is our base. Now I have no idea how this is going to turn out. So we're just going to go in there with our apple pie mix. Get our filling in there. Now this could be the first disaster on this channel, because this is potato pastry and I have no idea how it's going to hang up with a big pie. Normally you'd make potato pastry and put the top over it. So let's just move that to one side, put some flour on here, and we want a top. Now I could probably press this out with my hands actually. You know, it's like this could be really good pizza dough. I think that fits that. Now with this dough, I do not think you have to put anything to seal it. I think it's going to seal itself. However, we do have some egg wash. So we will gentle round there. Let's go on the top with our pastry and let's fold it a little minute. I don't think for a minute that this is going to seal up completely. I'm going to bring it over the top of our tin. Now don't forget, this is only mashed potato and flour. Now I am coming in from the sides of the tin. And then we are going to try and put a little bit of a neat edge on there. I don't think it's going to work because it is just mashed potato and flour, and it doesn't have the same sort of mass as normal pastry. So we just make it look a bit like something. That looks lovely actually. Now I am going to go on there with a little bit of egg wash actually. I'm not sure it's required, but let's see. Nice and gentle. I'm going to preheat the oven 180. I'm just going to put a little bit of this on here. I'm going to try not to come down the side, because with this not being a proper pastry, I think, in fact I'm almost certain that it would rip apart when we open it up if it was stuck. So we'll just come on the top like that. And then because it's all those apples inside there, it's going to want to vent off. I'm certain of it. So let's just do that. So we want a tray, and we're going to put that on our tray. Now I have no idea how this is going to come out. This will be an eye-opener to see how well this pastry holds up with all that filling inside there. Okay, we're going in the oven. We're going to go in there, straight in there, and we're going to do 20 minutes. I'm going to do 22. I'm going to do 22 minutes, but I'm going to look at it from about 17, 18, somewhere under there, and see what it looks like. Oh, there we are. There we are. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Wow, wow, wow. Look at that. Maybe it's a little bit dark on top for me, but that truly is. Oh. Well, this is an old farmhouse recipe. Now, I'm not sure it's going to work. It looks tremendous at the moment, but we're going to have to take that spring form clip off. And I don't know if this pastry, with it being mashed potato, has stuck to this tin. There's one thing that's certain. In about 5 or 6 minutes time, we're going to spring that and have a look. All cooked in the high sapienza air fryer. The smell actually is incredible in here. It really is good. It's sinking down and it's quite pliable actually, and I think that's because it's mashed potato. But that is extremely, extremely hot. But we're going to get that on there. Now I can honestly say, I think this might be too big a deep dish, and I think it might collapse. I think the filling inside, if it was left to go cold, it would be solid. We're praying. Oh, oh, look at that. Oh, that is unbelievable. That is mashed potato pastry. That looks superb. I think we need to get this on a board. Now that looks absolutely tremendous. Now what I have noticed with the mashed potato pastry, it's a nice soft pastry because of the mashed potato. It is really, really soft. Really nice. We are going to take a slice, but I can tell you now that the apple and everything's going to fall out of the inside. Has to do, because it's an apple pie. So let's get in here and give it a cutting. Nice and gently down the side. Oh, it's already starting to come out. Just look at that. That is sensational. It's all falling out, but we're going to put it on our plate anyway. That is tremendous. Now just look at that. Okay, it's not pastry, it's mashed potato pastry. It's a little bit softer. That is phenomenal. All we got to do now is give it a taste test. We're going to taste it raw with no cream, no ice cream, just like that. Let's see how it is. Well, look at that. Mashed potato pastry. You can't go wrong, can you? It's slightly healthier than any other pastry. The apple filling, that's got that crunch to that apple that we put in there at the last 5 minutes or so. That is a delicious filling. Our pastry, let's give it a squash. Oh, I can tell you now, that is incredible. Wow. Wow. That is sensational. That is really delicious. For mashed potato pastry, that is superb. As an apple pie, a farmhouse apple pie, can't go wrong. That really is sensational. Well, I hope you like what we're doing. Don't forget, smash that like and subscribe, share with your friends, all that kind of stuff. Catch you in the next video.